By far what I get asked the most from new clients is how do I grow my social media and how do I grow my Instagram? I get it. It's so hard when you're starting from scratch. And it's a lot easier with more followers. I have over 20,000 followers on my beauty influencer account now, and it's just so easy. As long as I'm consistent with content, I get new followers coming in. It's just so much easier now. When I was starting out, it was so much harder. There was a time where I never thought I would get to 1,000 followers, and then I got to 1,000, and then I thought I'll never get to 5,000, I'll never get to 10,000. Lo and behold, now I have tens of thousands of followers. It is possible. I'm going to tell you guys what I would do if I were starting completely from scratch with no content, no followers, no nothing. This is what I would do if I were starting a new Instagram in 2026. Before we get into it, give me a quick like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So the first thing I would do is I would have a narrow focus. I know some people, everybody's kind of divided on that point of to have a niche or not to have a niche. It absolutely 100% helps you. It helps with the algorithm. It helps the algorithm know where to place your content, who to push it out to. It's just so much better than having content that's all over the place, and then the algorithm just doesn't really know what to do with your content. It can help you with growth. That's a whole other point that we'll talk about later in the video, but it's very important to interact with other accounts that are similar to yours to help grow. It makes batching content much, much easier. Now, I think content pillars are not outdated. They are kind of, to a lot of people, outdated. I think they still serve a purpose in making sure that you do have a nice, congruent account with all of your different kind of content, that your different pillars are basically subcategories that in some way relate back to your main category. And of course, this is going to be a lot easier for you if you are a small beauty brand. That's who I cater to on this channel. If you're a skincare brand, obviously your niche is skincare. If you're hair care, your niche is hair care, obviously, but you can add in other things like self-care. You should add in other things like self-care because that's where some more like aspirational, inspirational kind of content can come into play. But I know there is the urge sometimes to post a cute animal thing of if you have a dog, or posting what you cooked. If you cooked and you're really proud of it, just leave that stuff off, leave it off, resist the urge, don't share it, or have a separate personal account where you share that stuff. Don't share that on your business account. Do not. I mean it. It really, really is important to have that narrow focus. It really is. And to stay with that narrow focus of your niche. Just stick with it. Even if you're doing a funny post that in some way can relate back to beauty, and it should relate back to beauty. That's my opinion. That's my expert opinion, that it should always in some way relate back to your main niche. The more you can stack similar content, the faster you're going to grow. So you just don't want to be posting all over the place. You really don't. Anyway, let's get to number 2. That is, I would have a clear and consistent posting schedule. When I first started posting, I was very random about it. It is so helpful to just stay on task, to have your schedule, because there are definitely going to be times when you don't feel like doing it. And consistency really is the key, being consistent and being persistent. So doing it, frequently, regularly, and sticking with it. Those are like the most important things, whatever you're doing on social media. And it's not just about posting more. It's not about quantity over quality. It's not. I do highly value quality. You want quality content out there, but you do also want to be sticking with that schedule, being disciplined about it, even when you don't feel like it. It's like a workout. It's like you don't feel like it that day, but if it's on your schedule, if it's okay at 4 a.m. or 4 a.m., hell no, not 4 a.m., 4 p.m., I meant at 4 p.m., you're going to go run after work or whatever, you don't want to do it, but you have it scheduled a certain time of the day, every day. I do not like going to the gym every day, but I do because it's on my schedule. It's just a regular part of my routine now. So I just do it. It's not a question of, do I feel like it that day or not? That's not even a question. It's just, that's next in my schedule to do that day. So that's what I'm going to do. And that's how disciplined you need to be about content, because it is very easy to get discouraged with posting content, and having that schedule can help you stay on task. Even having a schedule, even having a time of the day. Like I have a specific time of the day when I sit down and interact with other accounts. That's another little part of the vlog of how to grow on Instagram, but it's so important to interact. That's a different point though, but getting ahead of myself there as usual. But I do have that sort of scheduled into my day so that I do it. I spend an hour or 2 hours or however long interacting on other accounts, because that is one of the key ways to grow as well. So just make it a part of your work schedule, because it is a part of work. It's a part of branding. It's an important part of branding and marketing to be consistent on Instagram, to do it daily if you can. If you're a brand owner, you don't have to do it every single day. You could get away with doing like 3 days a week, as long as you're consistently doing that 3 days a week and you're not like skipping days here and there. Number 3 is something I wish I'd done from the very beginning, because it was one of the biggest game changers for me in Instagram growth and just in business growth in general. And that was to let my actionable goals be what rewards me, to let those little measurable, actionable goals be my measure of success, not getting to 1,000 followers, not getting a viral video or whatever. Those are those hopeful, things that, oh, I hope I get this, I hope I get that. You can't keep momentum and motivation on those things. You can get a sort of instant inspiration and a little bit of a motivation, but it drops very quickly. You get frustrated very quickly, very easily when you don't see results. But what you can see results from is a measurable task, an actionable goal, like I'm going to post 3 reels a week and 2 carousels per week. That is something that you can measure. It doesn't matter how much interaction you get on those posts. It doesn't matter how many followers you get from those posts or if you get any sales or not. It's just, did you do those posts? That is your measure of success when you're starting out. And even for me now, that, I have to keep myself going with that, because there are a lot of days where I could get away with not posting, but I need to keep posting. And so it helps me to remember that that's my measure of success, is those little actionable goals, the little disciplined actions that I need to take on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. Come up with a schedule that is realistic for you and stick with it, and let that be what makes you feel like you're doing a good job, like you're doing what you are supposed to be doing on there, not getting discouraged by a lack of sales or a lack of followers, but being personally rewarded by the work that you produce, the content that you have created. That will keep you going, and that is the most important thing of all. Number 4, I've touched on it a few times already, that is interacting with other brands, with other accounts, with other beauty bloggers, beauty vloggers, anybody that's kind of in your niche. This is something I also wish I'd have done a long time ago. My account started growing tremendously, much more quickly when I started interacting on other accounts, not just liking their posts, but commenting. Commenting is key. You want to follow them. You want to be liking and commenting on the same people's posts every day so that they see you. They constantly see you in their notifications. They start to interact back with you. It's a very, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of a thing on Instagram especially. It is a little bit that way on TikTok, but more than any place, it is that way on Instagram. If you are interacting with other small beauty brands and other beauty bloggers, they will interact back. The key is make sure you're following them, make sure you are liking and commenting on the same one's posts. That's why you want to follow them. That way they'll just be in your feed. It'll just be easy for you to scroll through your feed. If you're going through your feed and liking and commenting, then you will be commenting on the same ones every day. They are the ones that show up every day, that are posting every day, that are also wanting interaction back on their posts. They're happy to give it back to you. And don't get discouraged by the fact that it might not yield sales. We have this saying, it's called lurkers are buyers. The lurkers are the buyers, but the lurkers pay attention to that interaction. That interaction is your popularity, is your brand image. It's part of your brand image. If you are having a lot of engagement on your posts, it looks good. It looks good to the lurkers who are hanging in the background, not commenting. Because look, the average person on there, the average consumer that's not a content creator, they're not going to be taking the time to comment on people's posts. Don't ever let that be your measure of success or your goal, because that is really hard. You have to be one of those like major entertainment accounts that's just super funny and relatable and shareable. Those are the only accounts really that like get a ton of comments, or like news very, very large news outlets, and they usually get a ton of negative comments no matter what they post. So you don't want that anyway. But for what you're posting as a small beauty business, you are not going to get consumers just randomly wanting to take time out of their day to comment on your lipstick or your hair care or whatever. It's going to be the other small beauty brands, the beauty enthusiasts, the beauty vloggers, the models, the makeup artists, everybody in the industry. We're all on there cheering each other on. Get into that game. That is your quickest way to get more followers on Instagram. Out of everything I'm telling you today, that is the quickest way to start seeing real engagement on your content. Number 5, and the last one of what I do if I started from scratch in 2026 with Instagram, is I pay more attention to SEO. SEO is important now for social media, not just websites. So it's really important that you are paying attention to your keywords. You can use your keywords in your title, in your bio, in your highlight names. You should absolutely be using keywords in your highlight names. And you can make as many highlights as you want. I know only a certain amount will fit on there at a time, and then people have to scroll to go through them all, but still having them on there is going to help you with SEO. So make sure that you're putting up a lot of highlights, and they should basically mimic your categories that you have on your website. Your category tabs, those should translate to your highlight titles. And then of course you want to be echoing those keywords in your post captions. Do not do keyword stuffing though. If you just throw a ton of keywords in there, I see beauty bloggers especially do this a lot, where they will just put in a whole paragraph of random keywords. That's keyword stuffing at its finest. That's a big no-no with SEO. That's gonna hurt your SEO. And just remember, anything that isn't helping your SEO is hurting your SEO. So everything needs to support each other. All those different keywords, that all needs to work together, support each other, and just make sure that you are repeating those keywords throughout your title, your highlights, your captions. It's really not that difficult, especially if you are in a beauty niche. If you're in a body care niche, you're going to be talking about skincare, body care. You might be catering to problematic skin, so eczema, something like that, sensitive skin. You can hire people like on Upwork or Fiverr to do SEO for you for under $100, really. It just depends. I wouldn't spend the money on it just because I know how to do it. And of course you can use AI to sort of come up with a posting plan for you that's SEO friendly. So, you really don't need to outsource that, but you can if you want to. That is absolutely something that you can. If you are just like, hey, I'm clueless, I have no idea how to do SEO, that is something that's worth investing in really quickly as you are launching your Instagram. Just spend under $100 to get somebody to come up with the different titles for you. That is something that I would say it's worth investing in if you are just like 100% clueless with AI and SEO. I get it. I totally get it. It's not everybody's strong suit. But yeah, that is something that I would definitely pay attention to as SEO if I were starting over with Instagram. So that is it. Those are the top 5 things: having a clear focus, having a clear and consistent posting schedule, letting your actionable, measurable goals be your measures of success. Make sure you're interacting with other accounts. That's so important, especially the actual commenting on their recent posts, not just liking, but commenting. So important for growth. And paying attention to, like we talked about, SEO. So I hope you found these tips helpful. It really can be fun and easy, I promise. It's not, it doesn't have to be totally intimidating and discouraging to do social media if you just change a few bits of your mindset and your approach and just stick with it. Just get into the mindset where you can stick with it and enjoy it, find inspiration from it, follow accounts that you like. I'll throw in one more tip here too, as I'm thinking about it, is follow content that you genuinely like, so that you're genuinely going to interact on there, so that you're not on there like it's a chore. You don't want it to feel like a chore. You do want to enjoy it. I certainly enjoy looking at all the beautiful, beauty content that I follow. So it's easy for me to sit there and spend an hour working on it, and I find it inspirational when I'm following bigger accounts that do just these amazing photo shoots. I find a lot of inspiration and it's a lot to aspire to, and motivates me to keep getting better at my craft. So it totally does not have to be a discouraging thing. It can be an encouraging, motivating, fun thing. It really can, I promise. You just have to not give up, and you have to stick with it. So again, I hope you found all that stuff helpful. If you have any questions about any of the content we covered in this video, leave a question in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer it. And please give a like and subscribe before you go. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.